Professor Kannadasan, Professor Sivakumar, other dignitaries on the dais, members of the faculty, and my dear students. Good morning to all of you. It's an absolute privilege to be part of today's National Symposium organized by the Department of Management Studies of the esteemed Madurai Kamaraj University. When Dr. P. Kannadasan met me, I congratulated him on the choice of Industry 5.0 as the topic for the symposium. While most Indian universities tend to lag behind in adopting industry trends, and India is yet to fully embrace Industry 4.0, today's topic is refreshingly ahead of the curve. Dear students, the world you are about to enter as future corporate leaders, professionals, and entrepreneurs is vastly different from the world in which your parents grew up. Technology is advancing at a breakneck speed, and job roles are evolving faster than ever. I was not sure if all of you present here truly understand what Industry 5.0 means, but Professor Sivakumar has given you an introduction. I would like to repeat the points. Before we explore Industry 5.0, let us take a quick look at how we got here through various 4 previous industrial revolutions that changed the world. Imagine a world where everything was done manually. Then came Industry 1.0 from the late 18th century to mid 19th century, powered by the steam engine, which ushered in the age of mechanization, factories, and railways. Next, Industry 2.0 from late 19th century to mid 20th century introduced electricity, the internal combustion engine, and the assembly line, making mass production and mass transportation faster and easier. Then Industry 3.0 from mid 20th century to end 20th century arrived, where computers and early robotics reduced human effort and made industries faster and smarter. We are currently in Industry 4.0, or the digital revolution, early 21st century till date. Its key components are artificial intelligence, AI, Internet of Things, IoT, big data, and cloud computing. Powered by these tools, today's machines don't just work. They think, they analyze, and they predict. AI-driven automation has today become the new reality. Please note that Industry 4.0 is not confined to manufacturing. It spans multiple sectors such as agriculture, healthcare, education, and finance. Please also note that while the first 2 industrial revolutions lasted about 100 years each, the third revolution lasted about 50 years, and the fourth revolution lasted only 25 years. And now we enter Industry 5.0, whose key themes are human-AI collaboration, ethical responsibility, sustainability, and personalization. Like Industry 4.0, it spans multiple sectors. Unlike Industry 4.0, which focused on automation, Industry 5.0 is about collaboration between humans and machines. The future of work is not about humans versus machines. It is about humans and machines working together to achieve extraordinary things. Further, AI and robots can do repetitive tasks very efficiently and process vast amounts of data, but they lack moral judgment and can be programmed to do things unethically. They also lack emotional intelligence, empathy, and transparency. Industry 5.0 seeks to correct these shortcomings by subjecting AI to human oversight and ethics, to ensure fairness, transparency, and accountability. Moreover, in this age of climate change, Industry 5.0 prioritizes sustainability, eco-friendly production, and waste reduction. As Professor Sivkumar already mentioned, Industry 5.0 also makes industries move from mass production to mass customization, allowing you to design your own things. I will leave it to the other speakers at this symposium to delve into how Industry 5.0 is reshaping multiple sectors. In the rest of my talk today, I will focus on the driving force behind the various industrial revolutions, behind every breakthrough in history in this rapidly transforming world. The common thread linking them all is continuous learning and creative thinking. These will be the two takeaway lessons for you from my talk. Dear students, your first takeaway lesson is that you should be a continuous learner. The famous British physicist Sir Arthur Eddington was once asked by a girl at a party as to what he was doing. "I study physics," replied Eddington. The girl responded, "Oh my, you're still studying physics? I finished studying physics last year." Most of us make the same mistake as this girl. We think that we have finished our studies once we leave our college or university. Whereas the truth is that learning is a lifelong process. Education is not a destination, but a road we travel by all our lives. There is another story, probably apocryphal, about Albert Einstein. He is supposed to have once set a physics exam paper in which all the questions were repeated verbatim from the previous year's question paper. When the students pointed this out, Einstein said, "The questions may be the same, but the answers have changed." What Einstein meant was that physics had advanced a great deal during the past 1 year. In today's fast-changing world, knowledge is constantly evolving and skills can quickly become outdated. Any person who doesn't update himself in his field will become a modern-day dinosaur and will soon be out of a job or out of business. Doctors, lawyers, engineers, IT professionals, and virtually everyone in every profession must keep pace with advancements. In a world of constant change, continuous learning is not just an advantage, it's a necessity. In any organization, you will find two categories of people. A few who are always eager to learn new things, and many who have stopped learning and become intellectual deadwood. It is obvious to which category you should belong. Every successful person I know of is someone who is passionately curious, who keeps asking questions like a 5-year-old child, and who is a continuous learner. We stop growing physically after a particular age, but there is no limit to our mental growth. As Henry Ford famously said, anyone who stops growing is old, whether at 20 or 80. Anyone who keeps learning stays young. Now there is a lot of fear that AI will replace jobs, but the truth is that AI is more likely to redefine jobs rather than eliminate them. While AI automates repetitive tasks, it will create new roles in AI development, data science, cybersecurity, and ethical AI governance. The key lies in reskilling and upskilling yourself so that you are prepared for an AI-driven job market. When I was in the IAS, I used to give my junior colleagues 4 tips, which I believe are equally applicable to managers in the private sector. 1. Improve your skills of oral and written communication. All successful managers are good communicators. 2. Have a good understanding of finance. I've seen a good number of top managers who have a blind spot where finance is concerned which makes them look silly. 3. Be proficient in IT. Of course, you are not expected to be a coder or a programmer, but you must be an intelligent user of IT, and you are expected to be aware of the latest developments in the IT regarding your sector. 4. Have a good knowledge of law. While ignorance of finance and IT may make you look silly, ignorance of law can land you in jail and mess up your organization in a big way. You cannot be a good CEO or entrepreneur if you are deficient in any of these 4 areas. Dear students, your second takeaway lesson is that you should develop the skill of original thinking or creative thinking. Why do people rave about Rajinikanth, Shah Rukh Khan or Tom Cruise? Because they are original. There is something unique about each of them. Nobody respects copycats. Whether in the arts, sciences or business, originality is what earns administration. So always try to do something original, something creative, something different in a positive sense. Think of it this way. When you see a new movie or eat in a new restaurant or buy a new gadget, what is the biggest letdown? If they are run-of-the-mill, lacking anything to distinguish them from the rest. The same holds true for you when you step into a job interview, seek a promotion, or pitch a business idea to a bank. You will be judged on how original you are, how you stand out from the rest. Let me share some powerful examples of creative thinking in action. There was a time when computers could be operated only by tech geeks. Steve Jobs changed that by introducing the Macintosh, the first computer with a graphical user interface and a mouse that could be operated even by laymen. He didn't stop there. He gave us a host of user-friendly products such as the iMac, the iPod, the iPad, the iPhone, and iCloud. Steve Jobs should be your role model for creativity. There was a time when watching a movie meant renting a DVD. Then came Netflix asking, what if people could watch whatever they want, whenever they want, from home? That question killed video rental business and gave birth to on-demand streaming. Today, Netflix is a major producer of original content and has reshaped the entertainment industry. There was a time when taking a taxi used to be frustrating. Long waits, high costs, limited availability. Then came Uber. It didn't invent taxis, it reinvented them by asking, what if we connect drivers and riders through an app? The result, a global transportation revolution. Creativity is not limited to tech giants or to the digital world. Consider these everyday examples. The wheel was invented way back in 3500 BC. But strangely, nobody thought of putting wheels under suitcases till about 45 years ago. And people used to carry heavy suitcases by hand with great effort. Today we have trolleys, that is suitcases with wheels under them, making travel effortless. A Japanese shampoo company faced a problem. Empty bottles occasionally made it past inspection, annoying customers. While some managers proposed expensive solutions such as X-ray scanning or infrared scanning, one employee suggested a simple fix. Place a fan by the conveyor belt, rotating at just enough speed to blow away empty plastic bottles, but not bottles filled with shampoo. This is creativity at work. Let me tell you the story of Malcolm McLean, an American truck driver who is perhaps the most important innovator you have never heard of. Till the 1950s, cargo had to be loaded and unloaded manually, piece by piece, onto ships, trains, and trucks, leading to delays, theft, and breakages. Malcolm McLean asked, what if goods could stay in the same box across ships, trains, and trucks? In 1956, he conceived the idea of packing goods in standardized steel containers that could be loaded and unloaded by cranes and neatly stacked on ships, trucks, and trains. Containers protected the products from breakages and thefts. This simple innovation revolutionized logistics, reduced costs and time, improved efficiency, and boosted global trade. These examples show that creativity isn't limited to artists, musicians, writers, scientists, or inventors. You can be creative in whatever you do. Yet, when we look around, we find that the vast majority of people are incapable of creative thinking. Why is this so? Every child is born creative, but society and education suppress that creativity. In the late 1960s, NASA commissioned Dr. George Land to test the creativity of 1,600 children over a long period of time. The study found that at age 5, 98% of the children scored at the genius level in creativity. By age 10, only 30% scored at the same level. By age 15, it dropped to 12%. Among adults, only 2% scored at the genius level. A major culprit is our education system, which often prioritizes conformity, standardized testing, and rote learning over creative thinking. Let me narrate the story of Carl Friedrich Gauss, one of the greatest mathematicians of all time. Once, when he was in a primary school in Germany, a teacher wanted to write a letter to his friend during class hours. To keep his students busy, he gave the students a problem. He said, add up all the numbers from 1 to 100. But no sooner did he begin writing his letter, Gauss stood up and said, sir, the sum is 5050. The teacher was sure that Gauss was playing a prank on him, so he asked him to get out of the class. 10 minutes later, the smartest of the remaining boys, adding all the numbers the hard way, stood up and said, sir, the sum is 5050. The teacher was astonished and called Gauss inside and asked him how he did it. Gauss told him, if you study the numbers, they form a pattern. The first number and the last number, 1 and 100, add up to 101. The second number and the second last number, 2 and 99, add up to 101. The third number and the third last number, 3 and 98, add up to 101. So the numbers from 1 to 100 can be grouped into 50 pairs, each of sum 101. The 50th pair being 50 and 51. So adding up all the numbers from 1 to 100 is like adding 101 50 times, which is multiplying 101 by 50, which is 5050. Now if you remember your school arithmetic, this is the well-known formula for the sum of the first n natural numbers, s is equal to n into n plus 1 by 2. It was discovered by Carl Friedrich Gauss when he was in primary school. My point in telling this story is that even though Gauss made it big later, we don't know how many other children fell by the wayside. Their creativity smothered out of them by our education system. The great American orator Robert Greene Ingersoll rightly said, our educational system polishes the pebbles and dims the diamonds. This problem is particularly acute in India. Here students are encouraged to memorize and reproduce passages verbatim from textbooks rather than think originally. In 2001, I was sent by the Government of India to do an MBA at the University of Birmingham, UK. There I experienced a different approach. Students were expected to write answers in their own words. The university actually cut marks if you reproduce the book language. Exam questions were never direct. Many required deep analysis, and original thinking. I'll narrate you the story of my marketing management paper. For the marketing management final exam, we were given 12 essay questions a month in advance and told that it was enough if we answered any 2 questions in the exam. But the questions were very difficult and vague. I went through the whole book and also searched for relevant articles in various management journals, but they were not of much help. So I complained to the marketing management lecturer about these questions. He replied, "Do you think I'm a fool to give you 12 questions 1 month in advance and ask you to answer just 2 of them? Each of these questions is like a mini thesis. You will have to think originally and write the answers entirely on your own, applying the concepts that you have learned." So I sat down, thought originally, and spent about 16 hours writing the answers to the 2 marketing management questions entirely in my own words. Later, I reproduced these answers in the exam and got 80% marks. Though it was hard work, the exercise gave me great satisfaction and taught me the value of original thinking. Perhaps that was the only time in my life that I had actually thought originally. When you go out to work or start your own business, your success depends on your ability to think creatively. You must make a conscious and serious attempt to cultivate this skill while you are still a student and even later on the job. Employers value candidates who can think creatively. Dear students, Industry 5.0 is not the end. It's a milestone in an ever-evolving journey. More revolutions will come, but one truth remains constant. Continuous learning and creative thinking will always drive innovations and breakthroughs. AI can enhance efficiency, but it's your uniquely human creativity, your ability to think differently, spot opportunities, and solve problems that will set you apart. The future belongs to those who can work with AI while maintaining their uniquely human creative spark. I thank Professor Kannadasan and the Department of Management Studies for inviting me to be the chief guest today, and I wish this symposium all success. Thank you.